We got climbers in there.
Stop!
We're opening the gate and letting these people in. I'll kill anyone who tries to stop.
Stop, or we will be forced to shoot you. We'll fire back.
Yep. Oh! He's already lost Rosita.
How you doing?
He has nothing to lose.
You built this place to be like the old world. That was the fucking problem.
There's no time for this.
If I open the gates, the dead will get in, not just the living.
You could have opened them and closed them by now.
If you don't, you're gonna lose everything anyway. You got one enemy. You ain't the Walking Dead.
Yeah, he said it. He said the show title.
He's right. Give the priest the key.
Man, for Daryl to come this far, be the one to really speak up.
On your command, General Mercer.
Woo!
Milton, you're under arrest for high crimes against the people of this Commonwealth. Cuff him.
Honestly, I kind of thought that would happen. They're switching things up a little bit from the comic, but
For something like that, it's
somebody else got that fate.
some death.
Negan knows. Oh, Black Friday sales. Here they come.
Close the gates now!
Samsung TV.
You okay?
I knew he'd be alright. We lost everybody else, so fuck. Where's Jerry?
Reveal!
Yes!
Where's my family? They're safe. They're safe in Alexandria. Come with me.
First things first. Oh! Hornsby. Does she not want to go to jail? They're not taking me back.
We have to help them, Governor. All the people that are still out there. It's not too late. It's never too late.
Just stopped it. They're not gonna let her get off that easy.
Variants are too dangerous to just lead away. So here's the new plan.
Still got the walkers to deal with.
Clear a path, but do not engage the Rotters more than absolutely necessary.
They've got fuses running to the private sewers under the estates, and we'll finish wiring the rest once you get the fuel back. In the meantime,
Woo!
the PA system to draw all the rotters to the estates.
Okay.
Come on in.
Go with the bang.
Let's get that fuel down in the sewers. We're only gonna have one shot at this.
See ya, motherfucking punk.
The last of the herd is on its way.
This is Blue Weevil. Where to go? Come on, we gotta get to the
Still using the code name? Wait for it. Wait for it. Woo! Oh! There's gonna be no more Commonwealth. Holy fuck! Yes! That was impressive. Now they can rebuild though. Once you put out that forest fire.
That's not easy. Having so many lives in your hands. How do you pick who does the job no one wants? Who gets the nicer house?
We've already had to make an ugly decision. Kept you alive. At least we don't have to worry about who gets your house.
Mic drop. You might need that later.
I've been thinking about what she said. I want to thank you and stop wondering if you'll ever say those words. And if I can ever forgive you. Because I know now I can't. Glenn was beautiful.
He was one of the good ones.
Never love anyone like that again. But when I look at you here, all I see is that back coming down on his head. I hear her calling for me. And I hear
Maggie,
your mom
I'll
me
find
while he's
you.
dying. I can't forgive you. Even though I'm so grateful that you saved my son. Even though I know that you're trying. I'm trying to. I don't want to hurt like that. And I don't want my son to see that anybody has that kind of hold over me. You and Annie want to stay? You have earned your place. And if I can't look at you some days, if I can't work with you, and if I can't move on, that's why. That's all I have are my memories.
I love this, man. Incredible acting,
I
too.
don't want to remember Glenn like that.
That was a powerful scene. One Last Supper. It's nice to see our group happy. Dog!
Hey, everybody.
I thought they forgot about Dog for a minute there.
Toast.
I haven't seen him like
Luke.
these last 5 episodes. To Luke. And Jules. Though we didn't really know her.
Can I just say,
They both deserve to be happy. At least she can take some comfort in knowing like Coco's gonna be safe with good people. People who love them both.
yeah.
He doesn't even know. Man, this episode is tearing me apart. I feel like every time I fight back to tears, they throw something else at me. Hits me even harder. Judith is realizing it. I didn't think we'd get something like this. I knew it'd be an emotional episode. Emotional roller coaster. Like a blubbering mess over here. I hate it. Why am I so emotional?
May her soul and the soul of all those departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen.
This fucking sucks. The fact that it's not like a quick death, they're prolonging it, makes it even worse. Even more emotional.
I'll see you again someday.
I hate this.
I wouldn't be the man I am today if I hadn't met you.
I thought it was you at the end.
This is brutal, man. Oh. I'm just glad they got to make her final moments like as peaceful and as beautiful as possible, you know? Being surrounded by loved ones. It's probably the best way you could possibly go. One year later, Eugene has a little baby of his own. Yo, right when I said it. That's beautiful.
And though we are not bonded by blood, we are family.
Hell yeah, we are. The Walking Dead family.
Your governor, I, and your lieutenant governor, Michael Mercer.
Princess.
And we pledge to live by those words.
Hell yeah. We're actually getting a happy ending here. Oh. Are they officially a thing? They don't seem to be a thing.
It's supposed to be a surprise. Just open it. See you later.
See you, June.
Judith Grimes.
Judith, this has always helped me find my way. I'm returning it to you now in the hope that it can guide you to your dreams. Thank you for letting me use it. Negan.
Nice. This is super sweet.
What?
Look at Carol. Our people have been through a lot. They deserve this. Happy future.
Yeah, I want to talk about the future. There's a lot out there to find out about. And I think it's time we did.
Spit off time, baby.
It's not like we're never gonna see each other again.
This feels like a final goodbye, though, for them.
I'm allowed to be concerned. You're my best friend.
Come in.
The OGs, man. There's only one more thing I need for this finale, and I will be 100% happy.
I'll keep an eye on Dog.
Dog!
Carol, too, man. When I'm out there, if I hear anything, see anything, I'll find them both. I'll bring them home. All right?
Carol,
Yeah.
you deserve a happy ending too.
Yeah, he
Be
does.
back.
I know.
Actually ended, guys. Oh, man. I know we're getting spin-offs. We're gonna get to still see some of these characters. Most likely all of them at some point, but still. The main show, it's actually over.
I love you.
I love you too.
And for him to actually express that, finally say it. All these characters have come so far. Carol, season 1, she's like being beat on by her abusive shithead husband. As he rides away, all I can think is, what a ride it's been, man. Oh? Oh? 000?
I think of the dead all the time.
Rick!
And about the living.
You lost so many good ones. Andrea! I actually met Andrea.
I think about
The
them
actress that
all
plays her in real
every
life.
day.
Everybody we ever loved.
Their faces.
Rosita, too soon, man.
We're together. Pieces of a whole that just keep going for what we gave each other.
Look at him. He's beautiful. Oh, Michonne.
I know you're back there. I know your brother is back there. Just as sure as I know he's out there.
And see you, Rick.
He's as a part of us. He's alive out there.
They better deliver on this movie now. If he's not actually coming back, reuniting with his family this episode,
Because I know
they can't just tease us like this. Woo. Message in the bottle, Commonwealth, or no, not Commonwealth, CRM.
Consignee Grimes, you've been located and are instructed to surrender. It's like he told you. There's no escape for the living.
Remember what I said.
We're the ones who live.
We're the ones who live. We're the ones who live.
We're the ones who live.
We're the ones who live.
Not Shiva, though.
We're the ones who live.
We're the ones who live. We're the ones who live.
Yo!
We're the ones who live.
Let's take that on herself.
We're the ones who live.
The crime. So he tried to escape. Smile.
Get to start over. We're the ones who live.
She's definitely a Grimes.
With everything we've beat, everything we've endured,
The Walking Dead, the end,
Must be completed.
is only the beginning. Coming soon.
The only way this works is if we
Dead
trust
City,
each
new
other.
series.
We're gonna
Negan
make it
Maggie.
right.
Daryl Dixon, new series.
Storm coming.
Rick and Michonne, new series.
One of these talks.
The Walking Dead universe, coming soon. Alright, turn that off. Alright, guys, that was The Walking Dead series finale, final season, season 11, episode 24. What an emotional roller coaster. What a ride of an episode. What a ride it's been to get to this point. This entire series as a whole. I got my wish. I got my Rick Grimes back at the very end. Thank you, Andrew Lincoln, for coming back. We got Michonne as well. My main question for you guys is, as well, aside from your thoughts on the actual finale, is do you guys want to see me react to the spin-off shows? Are you guys going to be watching the spin-off shows? Because as of right now, well, obviously I want to see Michonne and Rick Grimes, but up until this point, before that spin-off show was announced, I feel like not so much the Daryl Carol one, but the Negan Maggie one, I was probably most interested in watching. So I don't know. As of right now, though, I'm probably going to be checking out and watching all the spin-off shows. I definitely need to catch up on Fear the Walking Dead, though. I hated season 5. It was the worst season of all time out of all the Walking Dead shows. That was as bad as season 8 Walking Dead, but I heard good things about season 6, that it was a major improvement over season 5 in regards to Fear, so I definitely checked that out. I saw it in entirety as well, but I never actually followed up on it because even though it was much better than season 5, hell of a lot better than season 5, it still wasn't like the best of television, that I still was like must-see TV that I had to watch. I was perfectly fine with kind of just no longer watching that series anymore. I was kind of expecting that show to come to an end and then kind of merging with the main timeline, the main show, The Walking Dead, before this show actually ended, which is kind of crazy that the main show, The Walking Dead, ends, yet Fear the Walking Dead is still going on. And now we have all these spin-offs as well. So that's kind of crazy. It definitely didn't play out how I thought it would, but regardless, there's still a couple characters that I am interested in that show. Morgan, Madison, and Alicia, and because I haven't watched season 7, I don't know the current status of them all, but I'm definitely going to be catching up eventually when it comes to Fear. But back to this finale, what an incredible episode. What a way to go out for the show. I'm definitely happy with the happy ending for most of these characters, but man, they almost got me quite a few times. The main one I do want to talk about is Rosita, but before we talk about her demise and just the way that she went out, that one scene, man, in the middle of the horde, while that was all going on, I knew she had Coco on her, so I was like, all right, they can't kill her off, and why is she going last? They should be letting her go first, climb the damn thing first, because she's got the baby with her. And then I was kind of thinking, like, wait, there's no way they're going to kill off Rosita and the baby. So when she fell, I'm pretty sure I screamed pretty loud. Apologies to my neighbors all around, because they're always listening in. My walls here, my building are paper thin, but man, what a fucking scene that was. I'm pretty sure I erupted at that point, especially when she like exploded. She was using like a power-up, like a video game power-up. That was absolutely incredible. It got me super hyped. It was like that one moment, like in the span of 10 seconds, was a roller coaster by its own, because I thought she was gone. When she fell back, it was like slow motion, everything too. I definitely got to go back and rewatch that scene. That might have been that one moment, the standout moment, the most incredible, badass moment. All that wrapped in one for the final season. Remember a few episodes back how I was talking about when Negan was on his knees there and they're ready to kill off him, and then his wife stepped up and then everybody stepped forward. If they would have killed off somebody in that moment, or instead of Negan when he was fully prepared to die, if they would have pulled him away and then put his wife in that position and then killed her, that would have been one of those moments where I'm like, holy fuck. Like one of the standout moments. As bad as morbid as that would have been, as dark as that would have been, killing off his wife and child, but it also would have been a little bit poetic, I think, too, because of what he did previously. And he definitely came full circle with that this episode. I'm definitely going to talk about those discussions also, but I feel like that moment there from a couple episodes back needed that extra little oomph that we never actually got. So this episode, they gave us that and more. Not only from the fall, where I fully thought that she was done for, that her and Coco, Rosita and Coco, were both dead. That was not the case. They landed on their back, and then they just swarmed in on her. I'm like, fuck, and like the tears, my eyes swelled up at that point. I was done, man. I was emotionally wrecked at that moment in time, and then like a few seconds later, she bursts out. I was like, holy fuck. Like, I'm pretty sure I yelled. That was that mama bear strength. She saved Coco, as she did not let Coco get ripped to shreds, eaten, even though she got bit. We didn't actually see like the bite. So at first I thought she made it out just fine. Like as they all swarmed in, she just pushed out and then she got away. And man, what an incredible scene that was. Badass final moment, like that last final badass moment that Rosita got, that we got out of that. But man, I fucking love that scene. That was probably the best scene for this entire final season. And there's a lot of good moments, even for this final episode, for this finale. But honestly, I think that was my favorite final moment, my favorite moment for this final season. Say that 100 times fast, but my God, how it all played out though afterwards when it was revealed that she was actually bit. When Eugene went to speak to her, it felt like, I guess he already knew because he's like, can you show me? But nobody else knew when they were having that one dinner. And I did mention this as well. I think it was last episode or the episode before when one of my recaps where I was like, even if they could bring back some characters that we've lost for like a dream sequence, kind of like before when they had, right after the season 7 premiere, right after they killed off Glenn and Abraham, when they brought them back and everybody for like a dream sequence, like everybody at the dinner table, even him with his child, with Herschel. Man, that was a powerful scene. I was kind of expecting something like that, and they gave us something different. It might have been even more emotional, or I don't know about more emotional, but it was up there as well because just Rosita taking everything in, seeing everybody happy, kind of remind me also of another show that I just recently finished, House of the Dragon, episode 8, I think it was, or 9. Man, when he actually was looking around the table, King Viserys there, and looking at everybody, looking at his family who've always been fighting, and then I was getting emotional over that as well, just taking everything in that moment. Rosita was doing that exact same thing here. Man, this was an emotional episode. It was all over the place. I was all over the place. One scene, I feel like my eyes were completely swollen, like I could barely keep them open. It doesn't help that I'm high as fuck as well, but I'm so glad that I was for this finale. But man, what a finale it was, because shortly after that, with Rosita, even her, Father Gabriel didn't even know while that dinner was going on, that those final moments, but when she leaned into him, because he just walked over, was like, "You all right? You okay?" Then she went in, whispered to him, and she clearly let him know, like, I was bit. When I fell back there, I got bit. Man, that was so fucking emotional. That's like the key word, the main word, the only word I can really think of to describe this episode was just emotional. Like the emotions were flowing all throughout from the second it started. And can we go back to the start too? Because Judith, as soon as she gets to the hospital, it felt like a scene out of Resident Evil 3. Never mind the movies. I'm talking about the video game here. Fuck the movies. Resident Evil 3, the video game, when they're closing off and blocking off everything in the hospital while the walkers and zombies are closed in, trying to burst through. Yeah, Judith, what a badass. I'm glad she got a badass moment like that too, because she's a Grimes at the end of the day. And I don't care who her daddy is. At the end of the day, Rick Grimes was always her daddy. So she's clearly a Grimes. She basically like slid off the table there, like off the gurney, while right after getting shot too, Daryl got whacked, and I guess he was just left for dead by some of the guards, because I was kind of confused. I'm like, what the fuck? You just see him like fall back, and then nobody else is there. But she like rolls off the gurney, closes off the door. She's like really carts over to block off the doors as well. Her last like bit of strength, and then Judith claps right next to Daryl. Man, what an opening. Right from there, that opening scene, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a crazy finale. And I'm glad they didn't like hold out on any expense. AMC, thank you so much for that explosion as well, because I feel like they've really held back on a lot of funds. They've really cut back on a lot of stuff when it comes to this show. And this show has made them a lot of money at the end of the day. So my sentiments and my feelings are, just fucking pay them. Pay whatever the cost is to tell the story for the explosions. Make it proper. Make it look good. One thing I got to give them props for is they never withheld any funds when it came to the looks of the walkers themselves. Regardless of the quality of some of the seasons, the walkers always looked impressive as fuck in the show. And that's something that I'm always thankful for. My mind is scattered right now. Like, they just hit us with a lot, but I'm just trying to think of a few good scenes to kind of discuss here for this recap. Right before when Judith or when Coco was saved also, what an intense scene that was in the baby's room when they first approached the house where all the kids are being kept. It was like a massacre. Everybody got wiped out except for a few of the kids. Thank God. I don't know if any of the kids did end up dying, because that room seemed pretty bloody as well. There's a lot of walkers in there. Thank God the walker wasn't smart enough to flip that one cart, the baby basket or baby bin or whatever the fuck that was, because if that was one of the variant walkers, all it had to do was nom 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 nom, and Coco would have been dead right there. So thankfully it was the fucking stupid walkers that were in the room with Coco, and I think it was Jerry's kids as well. Thank God Jerry survived also. Man, my mind is like all over the place right now, so I apologize for hopping around so much, but this episode was too much for me. So that was a powerful scene also, with Rosita just bursting in. Man, she got a few badass scenes this episode, and she burst in, took out all the walkers, saved Coco. That was super nice to see. It would have been pretty dark if they actually killed off Coco in that scene or if she would discover Coco dead. So glad they didn't do that. And then there's a few times where I'm like, oh man, they actually did that right after Rosita and Coco fell too, and then they burst open. That, man, I can't get over that scene. What a fucking incredible scene that was. That might have been like, man, an all-time great for this show. I love that scene. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts when it comes to that scene with Rosita and Coco falling there off the pipe. But moving on, I'm so thankful that they brought Rick and Michonne back as well, Andrew Lincoln, because, yeah, it just wouldn't have been the same. As great of an episode as this was, up until the very end when it was revealed who it was with Rick and Michonne at the very end there, it was still a fantastic episode, don't get me wrong, but it's the end of the series, and as I was saying before, like, it's made AMC a lot of money, like, this property as a whole, this entire entity as a whole, the Walking Dead franchise, don't skip out when it comes to the finale, and I'm glad that they didn't. The only thing I'm a little bit upset by, and I guess they're going to do this in the future, so I can't really be, there's more story to be told, obviously. It really is, it comes down to, we didn't see Judith, the current Judith, interact with Rick, which kind of sucks. I really, really wanted to see that. Obviously, he partly raised Judith before he actually left the show, so they are aware of each other, but she was so young. That's the thing that kind of sucks, and he's never even met RJ, so I kind of wanted him to come back, reach Alexandria. It didn't even have to be a long scene, like a 2-second scene when they said like 10 years later or 1 year later, then he just walks up and they're like, Dad? And then they run over, give a hug. That's all I really needed. That would have been like the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, but we didn't get that. I'm sure something like that is going to happen in the future. If not, the Rick and Michonne, I'm pretty sure they said the movies are no longer happening. See, I lost track again with all this spin-off shit, but I'm pretty sure that they said that the Rick movie is no longer happening. Who knows? They might change their mind in the future. Who knows if that show blows up, it's like another hit for AMC? I wouldn't be surprised if they greenlight another movie or something in the future, or more Walking Dead. They expand the Walking Dead universe even more. It could happen. You never know. It all depends on ratings and, I guess, critics and whatnot, and just the overall reception to the show. But just him coming back at the end there, him and Michonne, that was great to see. I still wish he would have actually showed up at Alexandria, but that's all right. I can wait. Hopefully I'm still alive when the Walking Dead movie finally arrives, if it ever does, in this entire series, the entire Walking Dead universe. I get to see it all play out, but I definitely need to go back, because as of right now, the two things that I am not currently up to date on is I didn't watch the second season in its entirety of The Walking Dead World Beyond. I only watched the season premiere for season 2. That's why I was kind of lost when it came to some of the variant stuff. Like, you guys were like, yo, bro, didn't you watch the other show? I was like, no, sorry guys, I gave up on that show. So that's why it kind of threw me off guard a few episodes back when it was brought to this show. But I know they were kind of always a part of the show, but they kind of were, but kind of were, because if you really go back to like the first season, I don't think they ever had variants intended or in mind. Maybe in the long run, but I just feel like the show is still finding their footing. Thankfully, with the introduction of the variants, it could be explained away for the earlier seasons. Some of the way that some of the walkers acted earlier on, even though I feel like it wasn't necessarily planned. It was just the show kind of finding its footing and some, no pun intended, stumblings on the walkers' behalf. But yeah, where we're currently at now with the variants, with the walkers, and with all these spin-offs, the main one that I do want to see in the future, the main reason why I'm so happy that they did keep Judith alive, even like 10, 20 years from now that she is alive, Judith the character, and RJ as well, I don't know if the actors playing them are still going to be acting, but they could always bring them back, like even as like a revival series, like say once they're long done, this into all these spin-offs are over in the future, like 10, 20 years from now, they ever revive the series once again, they always could, with her character, with his character in the future, 10, 20 years from now, taking place right where they left off pretty much, well, all grown up 10 to 20 years later. That'd be great to see, because I would love to see the Grimes kids, what they're doing in the future, how they're holding it down. I'm sure the world will change. There's going to be another enemy at some point. In the comics, the walkers still exist. They're just less of a problem. They're pretty much all taken care of. So yeah, they're still out there. They're still enemies, because that's one of the things about The Walking Dead. Humans, we were always still the biggest villain in the show, as we've seen with Negan. And what a redemption arc we got with that character. One of the greatest redemption arcs of all time, out of any show ever. Like, it's got to be up there. I know a lot of people quit the show right after season 7, and season 8 was my least favorite out of all The Walking Dead, the main show. season, so I can understand why there was a major drop off. But season 9, Angela Kang, season 10, absolutely phenomenal. I definitely had some problems with this final season, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, but I was always honest with you guys. If you go back, you watch any of my recaps for any of these episodes of this final season, I was like, it was good, but I'm waiting for them to really pull the trigger. Like, it's the final season. Let's fucking go, guys. And they didn't really do that until the very end. These final few episodes, though, my God, they finally picked up the pace. I just wish that they would have done that a little bit sooner. Like, the stakes would have been raised a little bit higher, a little bit sooner. They would have been, I don't know, it just would have made for a better final season, in my opinion, because I felt like it took a little bit too long to finally get to where we are. But as a whole, we went out with a bang, man. You see how some of these shows, they kind of just whimper out. I know a lot of people I would always see it online, like The Walking Dead. Is that show still on? It must still be Walking Dead. Like, these people must think they're so fucking clever. I get it. The show may not be what it once was, but man, it got good again. Especially with seasons 9 and 10. This final season, it had ups and downs, but with how this actual series ended as a whole, I'm actually completely happy with how everything ended. Like I said, the only thing that would have improved this finale is the series as a whole, which I still think we're going to get later on in the future with one of the spin-offs or a future movie, depending on how the spin-offs do. I wouldn't be surprised if, well, the one thing that I did miss out was Rick finally reuniting with Judith and RJ. He's got to meet his children, or he's already met Judith, but he's got to meet RJ at some point and be a happy family with Michonne as well. I know Michonne, the actress playing her, Denai, she's doing big things now with Marvel and Black Panther and those movies and their major successes as well. So she's super Hollywood, and hey, good for her. She deserves all the money, all the praise, all the credit in the world. But I love her as Michonne. That's who I truly enjoy her playing. So hopefully, even after this next spin-off series, I don't know how it's going to do, if it's just like one season planned, if it's just a shorter season, because these are big actors. But if it does very well, hopefully we get more of these characters, another movie or another season out of that show. Regardless, we got to see them all reunite as a family in the end. But yeah, I think I got to think back in regards to like my favorite show. Maybe I'll do a separate video one day in regards to like favorite episodes. I know one of my favorite episodes right off the top, it's probably the one episode that pissed off a lot of people most, aside from the dumpster stuff with Glenn, was the Negan debut episode, season 7. Well, I guess he kind of debuted in the season 6 finale, but his real debut, season 7, the season 7 premiere, season 7, episode 1. Honestly, I know it pissed off a lot of people, a lot of fans, but the fact that they stayed so true to the comics and actually went through with the killing of Glenn, I love Glenn just as much as the next person. He's one of my favorite characters, always has been, always will be. But at that point in time, I know this is probably a hot take and some people will disagree. He had to go. It was his time. Like, they built it up so much with all those fake outs up until that point as well. The garbage, the dumpster, and then even before that, when I think it was Abraham that saved him when he was like being closed in by all these walkers. Then Abraham at Alexandria Gate, he like blasted them all away, saving him yet again when Maggie thought she had lost him there. Like, there was all these fake outs. They were all building and all leading up to that one moment, the Negan death, exactly from the comics. And it played out exactly like the comics. And as a comic reader, I couldn't be happier. So that's the reason why I love that episode so much. It was so true to the comics. It was basically the comic come to life. I gotta give the show full credit though, because a lot of times when it comes to taking pages straight out of the comic and bringing them to life, putting them on screen, they played out pretty nice. But at the same time, they also switched it up quite a bit with major plot points from the comic or major moments to kind of keep comic readers guessing just a little bit, just by switching it up. Say like something happens to this one character, they have it happen to somebody else, yet it plays out the exact same way. So it's kind of a gift and curse. Like, there's going to be some people that are happy with that, and there's going to be some people that are upset. And even myself, there's been some moments where I'm like, you know what? I feel like they did it a little bit better in the comic, or there's other moments where like, you know what? They actually did it better in the show. So yeah, it's kind of cool how they did do that a lot of time, and for the most part, I feel like they did handle it well. But yeah, this was the series finale, guys. I think that's just about it for me. What a finale. What a ride it has been. I'm so glad with how things played out too. There's so many moments that really got me emotional with finding Coco, and then finding out about Rosita, saving Coco, and then with everybody reuniting, the stuff with Rick at the very end there, Elijah and Lydia, Judith getting the letter as well from Negan, the Negan and Maggie stuff, the Daryl and Judith stuff, The Daryl and Carol stuff, like, man, they threw a lot at us. I feel like they did a really good job at wrapping things up as nicely as possible. The only thing I truly wish we would have got is if Rick Grimes finally came back to Judith and RJ, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get that in the finale. And look who came to say hi. Hey, buddy. You were being so good. You're such a good boy. I got to play with you. I know. You're waiting for me to finish, hey? All right, Freddy Ghost fans out there. He hasn't appeared on screen in a minute, so... You were being so good, buddy. Oh, I love you too, buddy. But yeah, I think that's just about it for me, guys. What a ride it has been. I'm so happy with how things all played out. R.I.P. Rosita. We just know I'm thankful that Coco is in good hands now by people, with people that love her. And yeah, I can't wait to see how these spin-offs play out. Are you guys looking forward to the spin-offs? Because you know what? I think I'm going to react to them depending on how they all... or when they're actually released, when they all come out. I'm guessing 2023 sometime, 2024. But as long as they don't release like all around the same time, it's a little bit too much for me to edit. But so I might not react to it at the same time that they're actually releasing week to week. But I'm going to try my best to. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below if you want to see me react to the spin-off show. But let me know your guys' thoughts overall, as always, in the comments below on absolutely everything. The final season, the final episode, the finale, how things all played out. But yeah, that's just about it for me, guys. As always, definitely let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. You guys can like, subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. Till next time, I am out. Enjoy your day. Peace.
Well, I didn't smoke enough for you, didn't drink enough for you, wasn't fun enough for you, wasn't good enough for you, damn. You play me like a yo-yo and shit. Well, I'm not the one to be yo-yoing with.